Desi Lydic did not begin by arguing about Donald Trump's intelligence. She began by playing his own words. In the clip, Trump said anyone running for president or vice president should take a cognitive test. He added that he had taken 3 and claimed no other president had done the same. The boast was meant to sound like proof of exceptional ability. Lydic focused on what the examination actually measures.
Anybody running for president or vice president should take a cognitive test. So I've taken 3. No president, think of this, has ever taken 1.
Kind of a weird flex. It's like bragging about being the only kid in school who gets a special helper.
The first question is very easy, and they always show the first question is, you have a lion, a bear, an alligator, and what's another good? A squirrel, okay? Which is the squirrel?
I am so glad that we have a president who can differentiate between an alligator and a squirrel. Unlike President Coolidge, God rest his soul. At this point, I'm not even sure there was even a test. I feel like there's a good chance the president was just watching Zootopia. You know what? Maybe small business owners aren't the best audience.
Mr. Trump made history last night. He will be the first convicted felon to be president of the United States.
Yeah, it's official. America's elected its first criminal president before electing its first female president. What a day for proud felonists. What the actual America?
Are closing in on a one-page memo to end the war.
I'm sorry, a one-page memo? How can Trump end a war with less paperwork than it took me to end my Planet Fitness membership? Whoever wrote that memo, can you please organize all bachelorette trips? Can we actually, can we see a copy of this memo?
She explained that a cognitive screening is not an IQ test. Its purpose is to help doctors identify possible problems involving memory, attention, language, orientation, and other areas of mental functioning. Passing such an assessment can be reassuring medical information. It does not establish genius, political judgment, honesty, leadership, or superiority over an opponent. Trump then described one of the early tasks. He listed a lion, a bear, an alligator, and after briefly searching for another example, a squirrel. The person taking the assessment would be asked to identify the squirrel. Lydic used that description to expose the distance between the medical purpose of the screening and the grand meaning Trump repeatedly assigned to it. Her strongest point required no diagnosis and no speculation about Trump's health. She did not claim that he had failed. She did not invent a private score or suggest that recognizing an animal was meaningless in a clinical setting. Instead, she questioned why a routine screening had been turned into evidence of extraordinary intelligence. That distinction became more important when Trump used the subject against Barack Obama. In another public clip, he said Obama could not pass the test and questioned how Obama had entered Harvard. But Trump did not provide Obama's grades, an IQ score, or any verified evidence supporting that comparison. The attack depended on repetition rather than proof. Lydic's response highlighted a broader communication pattern. Trump frequently takes a limited fact and expands its meaning. A successful screening becomes proof of genius. A favorable conversation becomes a perfect call. A large gathering becomes the biggest crowd. The original event may be real, but the conclusion grows larger each time it is repeated. The official description of the Montreal Cognitive Assessment makes the limitation clear. It is a brief screening instrument designed to help detect mild cognitive impairment. It assesses several cognitive domains, but its creators warn that results require professional interpretation and cannot serve as the only measure of a person's cognitive abilities. That does not make Trump's reported performance unimportant. A strong result can be positive news. It simply cannot answer every question he attaches to it. It cannot measure wisdom under pressure, understanding of policy, respect for evidence, or willingness to accept correction. The supplied version of this story adds a desk marked Genius Evidence, 3 labeled cards, an imagined written response from Trump, and several dramatic audience reactions. Those moments were not needed. The verified segment already contained the central contradiction. Trump presented a cognitive screening as an intelligence trophy, while Lydic accurately described its narrower medical function. This also explains why the animal example drew attention. The point was not that identifying a squirrel is useless. In a medical screening, simple tasks can reveal signs when combined with other results. The point was that Trump advertised the task as if it settled a debate about intellect. Lydic separated the clinical value from the exaggeration without diagnosing anyone. The The segment worked because she allowed the claim to define itself before challenging it. Viewers heard Trump describe the test, heard the animal example, and